Anyone that purchased their home in 2017 or 2018 should check into refinancing their mortgage to get a lower interest rate. Give us a call at 313-5000 or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com. You'll work directly with one of our loan officers right here in Southwest Florida. Our no closing costs program allows you to refinance with no fees out of pocket, no fees rolled into your loan, and you won't pay any Florida mortgage taxes either. If you took out a mortgage in 2017 or 2018, or you have an interest rate above 4%, or you are paying mortgage insurance, also known as PMI, call us at 313-5000, that's 313-5000, or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
We're honest and true, and we're here to serve you. The National Exterminators.
Living in Southwest Florida, we get lots of unexpected visitors, like your cousin Ernie from Poughkeepsie, whose family shows up for an extended stay.
Surprise!
But the most unwelcome of all visitors are the bugs and pests who want to make your house their home. And that's where National Exterminators comes in. Things like termites and rodents can cause extensive damage, but National Exterminators is a great way to protect your investment. They've been locally owned for over 40 years, so they know what it takes to keep the Southwest Florida pests at bay. With service plans priced at $46. So call 239-46-NO-BUG and let National Exterminators get rid of your unexpected visitors. As for Cousin Ernie, unfortunately, you're on your own there. Call 239-46-NO-BUG or visit pestcontrolmadeeasy.com.
National Exterminators.
Restrictions may apply.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. You might have seen our matte gray trucks with blue and white lettering on the road. Just know that in every truck you see, there's a certified technician who is trained to repair your system, not just sell you a system. As always, you can chat with us online at getpureair.com. Also, please join me every Saturday at 11:30 for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Therese O'Shea with Wink News. Health experts are now saying the younger generation is making it harder to complete contact tracing. Glenn Morris from UF says contact tracing has been proven to be one of the most effective ways to control outbreaks, and closing bars and keeping crowds to a minimum are helpful. Today, the family of a woman who disappeared late last month is holding a search party for her. Lauren DeMolo was last seen at Four Freedoms Park in Cape Coral in June. The search is from 5 until 8 at that park. They'll head toward her home from Four Freedoms Park and hand out flyers. Florida's Education Commissioner orders public schools must reopen in the fall. In an emergency order, he says all school boards and charter school boards must open school buildings in August at least 5 days a week for all students. Lee County planned to have students in grades 7 and higher go to school in person 2 days a week and online the other 3. Lee County School Board member Mary Fisher says today the staff will go through the state order and identify options to make sure they line up. A new report from FDLE details what happened in the days leading up to 17-year-old Carson Davis's death from complications with COVID-19 last month. The FDLE's report shows Davis attended a large church function with more than 100 people back on June 10th. Her parents gave her hydroxychloroquine at home before going to the hospital.
Wink News Traffic.
It's Tuesday morning. A new coronavirus testing site opens today in Charlotte County. Appointments aren't required, but doctors say you should register beforehand to speed up the process. The CDC says even if you have little to no symptoms, you should get tested.
Normal delays
Testing
on
can
Pine
take 7
Island
to 10
heading
days for
eastbound
results.
towards Santa
I'm Therese
Barbara
O'Shea,
Boulevard,
Wink News
as well
now.
as a slight slowdown on veterans heading eastbound towards Santa Barbara. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Tougher than plastic, harder than wood. Nothing beats the power of steel. Drew Steel, weekday mornings at 6 on 92.5 Fox News.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a fit for you.
That's what sleeping with a CPAP sounds like. If you can't use CPAP, imagine pressing a button and it sounding like this. That's sleeping with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, just a button. If you have sleep apnea, great sleep awaits at inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
I'm Mike Gillimbardo. I'm running to represent you in Florida's House of Representatives. I grew up right here in Cape Coral. It's where I went to school, learned to play football, and it's the place I called home while fighting in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Now, it's where I'm raising my family and operating my businesses. President Trump and our freedoms are under attack, and we need strong conservatives in Tallahassee. I fought for you on the battlefield. Now I'm ready to fight for you in Florida's capital. My faith in God and belief in individual liberties have always been a guiding force in my life. Whether on the battlefields of Iraq or fighting for our conservative values at home, I'm passionate about protecting our way of life. My name is Mike Gillimbardo. I'm a husband, father, combat veteran, and business owner. I'm running for the Florida House to fight for our Constitution, to defend our borders, and to stand with President Donald Trump to rebuild the greatest economy in the history of our nation. I'm Mike Gillimbardo, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Mike Gillimbardo, Republican, for the Florida House.
The team at Best Home Services understands that this is a time of much uncertainty and much unknown. With this uncertainty comes feelings of fear and panic. Please know that we are here for you today, tomorrow, and into the future as we move forward together, safely and comfortably. We are all in this together, and as stewards of our community, we promise to continue to provide you the services needed to keep you and your family safe. You are not alone. Best Home Services, our family protecting your family.
It's the perfect time for a powerful business refresh during Dell Technologies Cyber Savings Event. It starts now with up to 50% off high-performance Windows 10 business laptops, desktops, and servers, plus top-brand electronics. It's also your chance to streamline IT and simplify PC life cycles with PC as a service. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 10 Pro for business. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusinessdeals.
Time's running out to win $7,000 a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $7,000 a week after week, for life. Don't miss your chance to win because $7,000 a week for life is ready to be awarded on August 31st. Go to PCH.com and enter before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/26. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here at 239-479-5592. There's the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line back in the studios. Looking at Jake the Millennial, stretching, doing a nice little stretch there, feeling good. Oh, his stretch is done. You can't see it now on YouTube, streaming live each and every day. Yesterday we didn't. Elizabeth Harrington from the GOP, national spokesperson. Thank you to Elizabeth Harrington for filling in yesterday. I do appreciate it. And I hope you guys all had a great weekend. Jake, did you have a nice weekend? Was it fun? Was it comfortable? Were you happy? Did you sleep? What did you do? What did you do?
A lot of cleaning. It was kind of productive.
A lot of cleaning?
Yeah.
Like cleaning your house?
Yeah, like laundry, bedroom, kitchen, living room, bathroom.
Wait. So you consider a weekend or a holiday weekend the weekend to do laundry? How often do you do laundry?
Like once a week.
Once a week?
Pretty much, yeah.
So you have a lot of clothes. You have lots of stuff, and because when I was younger, when I was your age, when I was a little baby millennial, I don't even know if that's
you were never a millennial.
That's true. All right, when I was of a millennial age, I just had a lot of clothes and stuff, and so instead of having just a couple of pairs of different items and have to wash them all the time, I had a bunch of stuff that you could go a long time and not have to wash and then do one big giant. Is that what you're talking about? That's what you do?
Pretty much.
It's not true, is it? Are you lying to me now? Did I catch you in something? Don't be uncomfortable. It's not like...
Okay, I still have clothes in the dryer.
Right. Well,
and there's still more to watch.
Most people know, and it's a fact of life, that a dryer, if you are single and you're millennial especially,
it's like a second closet.
Exactly. It's a known fact that dryer is just another drawer. It's just another place to store stuff because you're the only one there. I mean, technically, it's unless you share the dryer with a family member, then it can be a little weird.
Yeah, I do share it with my brother, but he'll just throw them on my bed.
All right. Well, we've solved nothing this morning, so good to know. All right. No, that's okay. It's fine. 239-479-5592. Again, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line had a nice weekend, a nice couple of days to relax, spend time with the family. I'm learning more and more how great Florida is when you actually take time to visit different places. I went to Venice to check. Have you ever been to Venice?
I've been through it. I've never visited.
It is really cool. Little historic Venice. You drive through the downtown. It's got a cool little downtown area. The beaches are really nice. It's different, and the history there, and you get the chance to see different areas around Florida. And I hope that's part of what you're doing in this world of COVID, where you got to mask up, barely leave your house still. Is that what we're doing? We're going back in time now. We're heading back, everybody. It's we can't do this any longer. We gotta go back. Moving back. Is that what we're doing? I'm looking at some of the headlines as we're trying to figure out what is and is not happening here in the state of Florida. You're trying to figure out what the numbers mean. What are they? I'm looking at Clay Travis. Clay Travis is. He does Fox Sports Radio, right? He's a Fox Sports Radio guy. And he has been following the state of Florida and our cases and what actually is happening here in the state just about as well as anyone. And trying to break down those numbers, the numbers that we see in the uptick in cases, and are we seeing the amount of deaths going up as well? And they are not. Every case is concerning because when people get it, you don't know how they are going to react to the virus, just as you don't know how people are going to react to anything else that they might catch, a real pneumonia, really horrible flu. You get pneumonia from the flu, but you see what I'm saying, and what your physical condition is and how you're able to withstand certain things that could happen to your body. You just don't know. But we are finding out, and even when you go to Clay Travis's feed on Twitter, which is an interesting one, and the state of Florida has had 82,397 people, 34 and under, test positive for the virus. Of that number, 28 have died. That's a coronavirus death rate of 0.00034. They've had 144,210, 54 and under test positive in the state of Florida. That's a 0.0016 death rate. The reality is the death rate's far too high. However, because the number of people of these ages tested positive is at best 1/10 of the total, so you'd have to make the numbers 1/10 of this. That means that 1.4 million 34 and unders, the death rate would be 0.0000194. And then the governor laying out a graph over the weekend about the fatality data here in the state. When you start to see the COVID numbers and the actual numbers that are out there compared to the deaths, you realize quickly how little the percentage is. You start to realize the 55s and ups are the most vulnerable, and how he was encouraging people, as I would, to go to the PDF and the presentation from the weekend to try to make sense of the numbers here in the state, because unfortunately, politics are at play. Politics are at play here in the state. How the numbers are being described, the numbers are real. You're starting to see this uptick in cases. You're not seeing the uptick in deaths in comparison with the total number of cases in the state, but you're not hearing these breakdowns. You're hearing quite the opposite. And why is that? And why would somebody be motivated to kind of make that their narrative here in the state? I'm looking at an article from Hot Air. Is there a COVID effect on Trump's polling in hard-hit battleground states? Alapundin had this article from yesterday, and the question about the COVID effect on Trump's polling in hard-hit battleground states. One of those states, you want to guess where? Is right here, the state of Florida, Texas, Arizona. Do you see what's happening? Look, we're not trying to, and I am not trying to minimize what's happening with the virus. I'm not trying to minimize the fact that the cases are increasing. We want to have all the information. We want to know if cases are increasing and those numbers are honest and true numbers. We want to know what's happening with deaths in the state. In Southwest Florida, we want to know the specifics. I'm sure there are many people. I think if you break down the numbers, 1 out of every 10 now is tested positive, or has a positive test in the state, which means somebody that has tested positive. It doesn't mean that they are in an ICU unit. There are some people that are. It doesn't mean that they are bedridden at home. Some people are. It could very well be that there are people that are walking around right now that got tested and had no idea that they had it. As a matter of fact, I think I just heard over the weekend, I think I heard yesterday that the mayor of Atlanta just found out yesterday that she tested positive and she has no symptoms at all, had no clue. We need to know this, especially when you read articles like this one from Hot Air. The question in the headline is interesting, but here's a more interesting one. Assuming there is a COVID effect on Trump's polling in hard-hit battleground states, will it abate as the epidemic in those states abate? We're bound to see the curves in Arizona, Texas, and Florida start to flatten sometime between now and Election Day. Bars are already closed in some areas, right? We know Miami-Dade and what they're doing there. Mask mandate in effect in Texas. Lockdowns will inevitably follow soon if case counts don't begin to drop. By hook or by crook, at some as yet unknown cost in lives, the spread will slow down in those states. If voters there have soured on the president now with the epidemic raging, will they turn sweeter once it calms down, or will they hold a grudge? This is what this article in Hot Air is talking about, and what a lot of people are mentioning as well, which is the politics are here, everybody. Everyone knows that we've got the politics at play with the virus. We know that as we see the numbers and hear more of the numbers ticking up in the state of Florida, that you're going to hear the media mentioning those states, Arizona, Texas, and Florida. You don't hear them talking about California and the uptick there. This is a Democrat state. We don't want to mention them. Not a swing state at all, but Arizona, Texas, and Florida are swing states. And so that's why we're going to get a big focus, especially on this state here. And will the poll numbers flip? Will we start to see, and look, I know people don't necessarily check those numbers or care about the polling numbers. They understand about polling. But the question is the image of what is happening in the state. Once things start to flatten out, once these cases that we're starting to hear about, this huge uptick, starts to flatten, it's going to, inevitably, and it will be inevitably before November. Does that mean that everybody will start to think differently about what's happened here in the state when they don't, if and when they don't see the deaths coincide with the number of cases? We've got a couple of weeks, everybody. I mean, if common sense would dictate that before we start to look and confidently say that as we do see the numbers going down as far as the number of deaths, even with the spike in cases, we'll get a real sense of how lethal or non-lethal this virus is in the state of Florida and overall. Once the next 2 weeks pass, the middle of, does that make sense? Jake, are you following what I'm saying here? Follow along with what I'm talking about. We see this uptick in the amount of cases. We're hearing about that the amount of deaths are not following that. If we have a lot of cases, we've heard about 10,000 cases, the most cases in one day, in the past couple of days, right? Last week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you know how we started to hear these big numbers in cases, right? The coronavirus cases in the state. We heard all these record-breaking numbers since the virus hit, right? You following me?
Sure do.
That means, and that would, common sense would dictate that in the next couple of weeks, if the virus is as lethal as people are leading you on to believe, that in the next few weeks, the 14 days, we would start to see a big spike in deaths across the state as well. And that will tell the tale. So that means when you look at these headlines, you look at the numbers, you start to see these numbers, then that's what we're looking at. So it's a good, follow me here. It is a good thing to see that there's a spike in cases and there is not a spike right now in deaths. That is a positive. That means it's not as lethal as once believed at this moment if this trajectory continues. But we keep an eye on it for the next couple of weeks. If after a couple of weeks we still start to see the decline in deaths, even though there is a rise and maybe even a plateau of the numbers of cases that we see and people that test positive, then everybody's going to have to re-examine a whole lot that has to do with this virus in the state. All right, 239-479-5592. Your thoughts, texts, emails, YouTube. We're streaming live. If you want to watch, please subscribe to the channel, Drew Steele, Radio Steele with 3 E's. We'll get to your calls coming up on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along with traffic, here's Sabrina Katz.
Commuters in Fort Myers, traffic is slowing on Alico, heading eastbound, getting off of I-75. Also delays on Ortiz north to MLK. If you want an alternate, you can always hop on the interstate. And traffic is congested on Fowler, north to Colonial Boulevard. If you're heading northbound, just stick to 41. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, hot and humid with a high of 93. The heat index will be between 103 and 108. We'll start with a few showers during the morning, then they push inland and become scattered by the afternoon and evening. Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
This Fox Business Report is presented by Gulf Shore Business Magazine, online at gulfshorebusiness.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street getting positive Monday. The Dow closing up 459 points. The S&P up about 50. The Nasdaq up 226. The feds are releasing details on how a COVID rescue package has been going.
The Treasury Department is releasing data showing the Paycheck Protection Program has so far supported 51.1 million jobs. Nearly 4.9 million loans have been distributed, worth more than $521 billion. The PPP is a popular CARES Act program that was just extended until August 8th.
Fox's Ray Bogan. Some lawmakers are calling for more transparency about who benefited from the PPP. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is now Instagram's highest paid celebrity, getting about $1 million for a sponsored post. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jill Nato, invested in you.
Time's running out to win $7,000 a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $7,000 a week after week, for life. Don't miss your chance to win, because $7,000 a week for life is ready to be awarded on August 31st. Go to PCH.com and enter before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/26. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Even in my 80s, every dive is exciting and enjoyable. When I developed cataracts years ago, I couldn't see well underwater. You can have the best gear and know the best dive spots. If your eyes aren't the best, it's just not the same. And Dr. Shibo knows that.
Knowing how much Jimbo cares about diving, it was a privilege to fix his vision.
It's great to know that we got eye doctors in our area that care just as much about me as I care about being in the water.
Hi, this is Dr. Scheibel from Community Eye Center. My partner, Dr. Spatafora, and I want to remind everybody, don't be a spreader. The coronavirus is so tiny, 100 million particles fit on the head of a pin. As we run around in our trucks and cars and play golf and go fishing and go to work and do the things we like to do, we are spreading the virus. The virus can only move with us. Over 65, diabetes, COPD, all these folks will be hurt severely by this virus. Wash your hands, be careful, don't be a spreader.
So who is this Heather Fitzenhagen?
Oh, she's Planned Parenthood's favorite politician.
What?
Yep, Heather Fitzenhagen supports young girls getting an abortion without their parents knowing, and she voted for late-term abortions.
You're kidding me.
Nope. And it gets worse. She also supports the killing of unborn babies based on their gender.
That's horrible. No wonder Planned Parenthood loves her.
She also fought against President Trump on immigration.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And she voted to give driver's licenses to illegal immigrants and to give them in-state tuition at our universities.
I did hear that. Didn't she also refuse to vote on banning sanctuary cities?
She sure did. Heather Fitzenhagen turned her back on President Trump and refused to vote to ban sanctuary cities in Florida.
And now she's running for the Florida Senate?
Yeah, Planned Parenthood's favorite politician, Heather Fitzenhagen, wants to be our senator.
We certainly don't need a Democrat representing us in the Senate.
Well, she claims to be a Republican, but whatever she thinks she is, we don't need Heather Fitzenhagen in Florida Senate.
Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican for Florida Senate.
True relief for back and neck pain. Sitting at home with back or neck pain, lying in a recliner suffering with leg pain or weakness, out of shape from sciatica, stenosis, or neuropathy? Get relief and get your life back. Non-surgical spinal decompression. This is Dr. Johnson, D.C. at 596 Back. Spinal decompression is an ingenious, innovative treatment that has shattered doctors' traditional ways of treating back or neck problems. Doctors have been left scratching their heads. Finally, avoid needles, epidurals, and drugs. This treatment is also super comfortable. Patients of any age can be treated and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. It uses a relaxing, computerized table to gently remove pressure on spinal nerves and discs, relieving pain, numbness, or weakness. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-2225. That's 596-2225.
Who is Adam Botana? He's running trashy negative ads, but it's all a distraction. Botana is desperate to hide the fact that he has zero accomplishments. He's just a liberal living at his parents' place following the Pelosi playbook. With a history of failing to pay taxes, liberal Botana is for sale, taking money from his big sugar buddies, even taking $10,000 into his dark money committee from a Democrat. Arrested for DUI, cited by police 7 times over 7 years, liberal Botana is reckless. Adam Botana, desperate, for sale, reckless, liberal. But Jason Mon is a proven Trump conservative with a solid record fighting for conservative causes, like enforcing immigration laws and protecting the Second Amendment. And Jason Mon is leading the fight to rebuild our economy and keep our water clean. Jason Mon, candidate, House District 76, a Trump conservative, a proven leader. Sponsored by Friends of Jason Mon PC.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it is Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Hey, we got Kevin. Kevin's in Estero. He's sitting there on his phone. Well, he's not sitting on his phone. He's talking to us on his phone. I hope he's not sitting on his phone because that would be really hard to hear you, Kevin, if you were sitting on your phone.
Hey, buddy. I had a quick question. If you, I appreciate it. Oh, no, I'm sitting elsewhere. I had a question. If you can help clarify what the ruling was in the Supreme Court about the vote, the Democratic College, and also about those ladies that ambushed the Cape Coral meeting yesterday that don't even live in our state, and how that was exact implied terrorism.
Were you there? For those that don't know, there were a couple of people, little, I guess you could say, disruptive, some disruption there at the Cape Coral City Council meeting, deciding on masks and the like. And so, were you there?
No, but I followed the story pretty closely, and I as soon as I saw them, I was like, "There's something wrong with these people." And one of the very, very small stories on Wink News today showed that they are not even from our state; they are actually paid professional rioters or whatever.
Is that right? All right. Well, let's do this. Stand by there, Kevin, and thanks for the call. Coming up, we'll talk about what happened with the Supreme Court decision. It was a good decision for people who believe in the Electoral College and what states can and cannot do. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. And what did happen with Cape Coral and the disruption there, and how you feel about mandatory masks.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cool and Tip of the Day. My dad taught me many things growing up, like don't cry over spilt milk, don't talk to strangers, and never make appointments with AC companies who telemarket you on the phone. They're bait and switch companies offering cheap services to get to your wallet. If you're telemarketed at your house, hang up. You can't perform a real service for $15 or whatever the fake offer is. Use companies that employ NATE certified mechanics and steer clear of any company with the words home services in the name. They're simply a salesman after a big commission. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313. Kobe, the most trusted name in the business since 1949. Call 239-482-1542. That's 239-482-1542.
Lee County, 1,200 square miles, 500 miles of waterways, 130 schools, and you. Protecting paradise is a big job, but Sheriff Carmine Marcino and his deputies are hard at work, holding career criminals accountable, leading the fight against COVID-19, keeping our crime rate one of the lowest in the state, and keeping our businesses, neighborhoods, and schools safe.
I'm Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino, and my mission is simple. I serve to protect. That is why our Safe Kids, Safe Schools program puts a school resource officer in every school. And that's why I put more deputies on the street to stop career criminals. It is why I'm committed to keeping you informed about our COVID-19 response. No matter the threat, whether it's a pandemic, civil unrest, or natural disasters, we will keep Lee County one of the safest in Florida. I'm Sheriff Carmine Marcino, and I serve to protect you.
This is paradise. Sheriff Marcino is here to protect it. Sponsored by Conservative Champion Leaders.
Let's talk buttons. Not the buttons on clothes, the ones that do things. The ones that beg the question, what's that button do? There's just something satisfying about pressing buttons. And now, if you have sleep apnea and can't use CPAP, there's a button you can press that's really satisfying. It lets you go from sleeping like this to this. It's called Inspire, and it's as simple as, you guessed it, clicking a button. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, a button. Inspire is a small device implanted in a same-day outpatient procedure. Simply click the button on the Inspire remote before you fall asleep. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. If you're struggling with CPAP, great sleep awaits at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Reported coronavirus deaths in the U.S. have now passed 130,000. Dr. Anthony Fauci with the National Institutes of Health says the number of daily cases has doubled within a week and a half. Comparing what's happening here to in Europe, he says,
they're having little blips, as you might expect, as they try to reopen. We went up, never came down to baseline, and now we're surging back up.
12 states are seeing new 7-day highs in cases, with the biggest increases in Montana, Tennessee, and West Virginia. It's primary day in Delaware and New Jersey, both delayed over coronavirus concerns.
Both states, because of the pandemic, are allowing expanded absentee balloting or voting by mail. After today's balloting, presidential primaries remain in only 2 states, Louisiana this Saturday and Connecticut August 11th.
Fox's Gernal Scott. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Teresa O'Shea with Wink News. Health experts are now saying the younger generation is making it harder to complete contact tracing. Glenn Morris from UF says contact tracing has been proven to be one of the most effective ways to control outbreaks, and closing bars and keeping crowds to a minimum are helpful. Today, the family of a woman who disappeared late last month is holding a search party for her. Lauren DeMolo was last seen at Four Freedoms Park in Cape Coral in June. The search is from 5 until 8 at that park. They'll head toward her home from Four Freedoms Park and hand out flyers. Florida's Education Commissioner orders public schools must reopen in the fall. In an emergency order, he says all school boards and charter school boards must open school buildings in August at least 5 days a week for all students. Lee County planned to have students in grades 7 and higher go to school in person 2 days a week and online the other 3. Lee County School Board member Mary Fisher says today the staff will go through the state order and identify options to make sure they line up. A new report from FDLE details what happened in the days leading up to 17-year-old Carson Davis's death from complications with COVID-19 last month. The FDLE's report shows Davis attended a large church function with more than 100 people back on June 10th. Her parents gave her hydroxychloroquine at home before going to the hospital several days after she first showed symptoms. A new coronavirus testing site opens today in Charlotte County. Appointments aren't required, but doctors say you should register beforehand to speed up the process. The CDC says even if you have little to no symptoms, you should get tested. Testing can take 7 to 10 days for results. I'm Teresa O'Shea, Wink News now.
Wink News traffic.
Commuters in Fort Myers, traffic is slowing on Alico, heading eastbound, getting off of I-75. Also delays on Ortiz north to MLK. If you want an alternate, you can always hop on the interstate. And traffic is congested on Fowler, north to Colonial Boulevard. If you're heading northbound, just stick to 41. That trip to the Minute Traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, hot and humid with a high of 93. The heat index will be between 103 and 108. We'll start with a few showers during the morning, then they push inland and become scattered by the afternoon and evening. Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Run all along.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have something important that I want to share with you about my good friends Kevin and Todd at AMCO of Bonita Springs. Look, they understand the last thing you need to worry about in 2020 is what to do and where to go when you're having car troubles, right? Their shops know a thing or two about hard times, especially since they opened in 2008. Remember, that was during a recession, and they've worked hard from day one and every day since to make sure they simply do the right thing when it comes to your auto or truck repair needs. Not only are Kevin, Todd, and the team great conservatives, but they're also very good at what they do when it comes to the maintenance and repairs that you need, whatever that may be. Because look, you rely on that vehicle each day to get you where you need to be. Not only do they do all things related to transmission work, but they even do brakes, air conditioning, check engine light diagnostic, tires, alignments. Look, you name it, they can handle it. Southwest Florida's come to know AMCO Bonita Springs as the place you can trust with your car or truck. So give them a call, will you? 992-2626. That's 239-992-2626. And if it's your first time into the shop, make sure you let them know you heard it right here on 92.5 Fox News.
Today's radicalized Democrat Party is attempting to dismantle, disarm, and discredit our frontline heroes. We must fight to stop them before it's too late. But to do that, we cannot send more weak leaders to Washington. It takes a bold, unapologetic conservative to stand up to the liberal mob and protect the institutions that make America great. We can't give in, and we can't give up. I'm Dr. William Figglestaller, and I approve this message because I'm the America First conservative you can trust.
Paid for by William Figglestaller, Republican, House District 19.
I'm here with Mike Roberts with Mortgage Warehouse. Mike, give me an update on mortgage rates. How are things looking?
There is a lot of talk about mortgage rates these days, and for good reason. Mortgage rates are nearing the lowest levels we've seen in years. Anyone that purchased their home in 2017 or 2018 should check into refinancing their mortgage to get a lower interest rate. Give us a call at 313-5000 or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com. You'll work directly with one of our loan officers right here in Southwest Florida. Our no closing cost program allows you to refinance with no fees out of pocket, no fees rolled into your loan, and you won't pay any Florida mortgage taxes either. If you took out a mortgage in 2017 or 2018, or you have an interest rate above 4%, or you are paying mortgage insurance, also known as PMI, call us at 313-5000, that's 313-5000, or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach. 2 years ago, I asked you to trust me with your vote to be your voice in the state capitol. I told you that I would not let you down, and I haven't. I voted to ban sanctuary cities and to give the governor the power to remove any elected official who provides sanctuary to illegal aliens. I voted to strip away anti-free market regulations that grant monopolies to the healthcare industrial complex. I supported teacher pay raises, and I'm proud to say that I was the leading co-sponsor on the bill to prevent minors from getting abortions without their parents' knowledge. As rioters march across the country and socialists attempt to overthrow our government, we need leaders tough enough to protect our freedoms, secure our communities, and rebuild our economy. I'm Spencer Roach, and you can trust me to stand up and fight for our liberty, protect our history, and maintain law and order. And that's why I'm asking for your vote. Paid for by Spencer Roach, Republican for Florida House, District 79.
Jim Levins, Republican for Lee County Sheriff.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News 239-479-5592, the phone number and the text line. I'm noticing over the weekend that there's a lot of people talking about the fact that the Washington Redskins are going to change their name or thinking about changing their name, have to change their name. Who else and what else? Where will we be changing names, tearing down statues? I don't know. What else do they want? What else would the radicals out there want? You know, the ones with the loudest voices and the ones that make the biggest threats against the people who just don't want to be hurt, don't want to be bothered, don't want to be harmed, don't want to be discussed, don't want to be talked about negatively, you know, and will do anything and everything you ask. You know, what else? Where else do we go? Although the Redskins issue has been a long one. The NFL team, this is going back and forth. I mean, for how long? Man, for a while. Sorry, you just noticed I was scratching my nose there and I hit my thumb against the microphone. Although it sounded worse than it was, unless you were watching on YouTube, streaming live, Drew Steele Radio. Please subscribe to the channel if you're there. If you're watching, it just helps to keep this going if this is something that you enjoy. So I wonder what they're going to come up with now. You know, they've been talking about names and different names and what will be the new names for the Redskins team. They should have, and if you have any ideas, you certainly can text us 239-479-5592. And I don't know what you have one. Oh gosh,
this is a good one.
What is it?
The Washingtons.
The Washington. You know the biggest problem right.
It's not a bad name.
No, it's an awful name. It's not bad. It's awful. There's a big
glorious.
It's horrible. You know the other thing that. Here's the problem with naming names and how far you can go with this. I appreciate that, and we're not going to talk about this forever. I'm just mentioning this now. You know, I appreciate the fact that there are people that are concerned about the Redskins name and how that needs to be changed. Cleveland Indians is up for debate now as well, and all kinds of different places and teams, right? But the Washington Redskins focus. How do you, if you are one of these people that is ready to tear down Mount Rushmore, George Washington statues now are up for debate. I mean, we got to clean and clear our history, wipe it clean. Kind of like, Marxists, communists do. Oh, that's right, because that's who they are and what they are. Black Lives Matter, Marxists, their words, not mine. But anyway, how do you reconcile, Jake, that the team, the Redskins, is in Washington, D.C., Washington, named after Washington? How do you reconcile? So don't you have to change the name Washington as well? Because you can't have Washington Redskins. If you change the second part of the name, you still have the first part of the name, and the first part of the name is still a slave owner and a horrible man because he was a founding father, and how horrible they were. And do you see? But nobody's really talked about that. How do you reconcile all that? You don't. And so ultimately, is that where we're going, Jake? Is that going to be next?
This is all dumb. It's stupid. Doesn't help with your police reform, people.
No, it really doesn't. Oh, by the way, a lot of no joke. talking about police reform. How's that been working out in some states over the weekend? The horrific shootings taking place, and why people are not talking about that enough, and what we noticed over the weekend. I'm trying to find some of the numbers. At least 6 children were killed amid a wave of violence over the holiday weekend. 6 to 14 years of age fell victim to violence in cities from Washington, D.C. to San Francisco. In some cases, the tragedies added to an already surging level of violence from last year to this year. This is what many people have been concerned about. Just under 90 people have been killed in Washington, D.C. this year, a 17% increase over last year. 2019 ended with the most people killed in the city in a decade. We're seeing a massive uptick in places like Chicago, and homicides jumped 34%. This June, there were 329 homicides, up year over year from 246 in 2019. And why I can't repeat some of these names. No. Somebody said the Washington bureaucrats. That's actually not a bad thing, is it? But in these places where we supposedly need police reforms, what have police departments been doing? It's the Ferguson effect. We see what happens. The ones that are hurt the most are the ones in those communities where the officers with police departments, they don't show up anymore because this is what they've demanded in the communities. This is what happens. That Ferguson effect is exactly what happened when after Ferguson, there was a huge spike in the number of deaths, homicides in the city, in the area. And now we start to see this again. And are we going to talk about that at all? Do we get to address that? You know, there's other issues that are going on as well with regard to the kind of numbers that you see in certain cities, in certain places, for example, coronavirus. What we are told is happening in these cities because, you know, you have decided that you're not going to wear a mask, that you've gone outside, you've gone to parties, or you've gone to different places and hung out with people, and because you haven't followed the distancing guidelines or you haven't followed the rules on wearing a mask, now you have been a contagion. You have caused this to spike. You have caused the numbers of coronavirus cases to spread. But at the same time, then we're told equally that, oh, by the way, the Black Lives Matter, these protests that have been out there for weeks. Yeah, there's little evidence that the protests have spread coronavirus in the U.S. I'm not kidding. AP had this story last week before we went on vacation. Little evidence that the protests that erupted after George Floyd's death caused a significant increase in U.S. coronavirus infections, according to public health experts. Really? What experts are these? How could they possibly know this? How can they possibly tell? Little evidence? Are you serious? And then I'm looking at a story now today, this morning. Tim Pierce at the Daily Wire, epidemiologists. 10 epidemiologists interviewed by the New York Times backed up an assertion already made by health officials in Houston and LA. What was that? Black Lives Matter protests almost certainly spread the coronavirus among participants. The key question that experts are trying to answer is how much have the protests contributed to the current rise in case numbers? In all likelihood, some infections occurred at the protest. The question is how much? No major new evidence has emerged that suggests the protests were super spreader events. This is where AP is going. But to suggest little evidence? The article obscures the researchers' interpretation of the data, giving the impression that the coronavirus didn't spread during outside protests. The researchers directly contradict that implication in the paper. In some, they say, is a quote, "We hypothesize that protests are activities that would increase disease transmission, albeit perhaps in a dampened fashion, if countermeasures such as masks are used pervasively," which they're not. We see that all the time. But again, these contradicting stories, why? How is it that we can't have one solid base of information in one place to go? That's what has frustrated everybody. I talked to Jake about this last week before we went on vacation. I had this weekend as I talked to friends. It's the common thread amongst the individuals, and it's this. How do we not have a uniform agreement on what is and isn't with coronavirus? The suggestion that a protest doesn't cause a spread of the virus, but that you going to a family picnic and one of you is not wearing a mask and you're all social distancing, just the one person, that all of a sudden that you're the problem. Like even Jake's throwing his hand. Is that why you're upset, Jake? You're upset at something else?
Oh, it's catastrophic for me to sit down with my 4 family members. It's catastrophic.
How does that happen? How does it happen if not for the fact that there are individuals that are trying to make this into something more, and politics are at play? And it's awful. All right, Chef Patrick. Chef Patrick.
Good gravy.
Oh, good gravy. Chef Patrick, there are people that are texting me now when I said maybe we need to come up with a poll for a name for the new Redskins.
Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody, by the way, somebody texted and said the Washington Nationals or the Washington PC Puppets. I kind of like the PC Puppets.
Okay, yeah, those are all great.
Yeah, okay.
I just wanted to say good morning, Man of Steel with 3 E's.
Thank you.
Is that how about the leftist linebackers?
The leftist linebackers? But Patrick, what if you're not a linebacker? What if your position's not linebacker?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They just come off the top of my head, and
well, it could be the Washington leftists. That might not be so bad.
Okay.
Good
gravy. You all have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye. He's a happy guy, Chef Patrick. Is he not? All right. The Washington Swamp. I like that. Why not?
Makes sense. It's a good one.
So I'm just telling you, sooner or later, you're going to have to somehow, some way, reconcile the fact that Washington's in the name as well. And then what? And then you won't use that either. Wonder if that's being talked about. All right. Somebody said, how dare Patrick Mahomes take a 10-year, $450 million paycheck from such a racist team named the Chiefs from Kansas City. Oh, boy. Here we go. All right. It's not. Let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Oh, by the way, streaming live on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, Drew Steele, Radio Steele with 3 E's. You just go to YouTube and we appreciate it. Sabrina Katz has your traffic.
Traffic is very congested in Lehigh Acres on 82, west of Sunshine to Gunnery, of course. Lee Boulevard as well as 23rd still up to speed. Also southbound delays on Lee Boulevard heading towards Leland Heights if you want to hop on Homestead. Cape Coral commuters still seeing a slowdown on Surfside heading south to Beach Parkway. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, hot and humid with a high of 93. The heat index will be between 103 and 108. We'll start with a few showers during the morning, then they push inland and become scattered by the afternoon and evening. Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Rush Limbaugh. This was the celebration they've always really wanted. Over the July 4th weekend, the American left showed us who they really are and what they believe, just outside the White House on what's now called Black Lives Matter Plaza. Agitators stomped on and burned a big American flag. They chanted 1, 2, 3, 4, slavery, genocide, and war. 5, 6, 7, 8, America was never great. The flag-burning organizers are part of an outfit calling themselves the Revolutionary Communist Party. At other events, American-hating left-wing radicals called for President Trump and Vice President Pence to be removed from office. In multiple cities, the day was marked by murder and mayhem, including mobs pulling down statues. I really hope that what's been on display these past weeks has answered any questions you might have harbored as to who the American left is, what they think of the country, and what they want. First and foremost, these are not people you can debate or compromise with. They don't love America. They don't want our nation to thrive and prosper. They want to destroy it and you. When they say America was never great, that's exactly what they believe. Now, if the left wins in November, it should be obvious to anyone who loves this country that we will be in deep doo-doo, deep trouble. CBD getting a lot of attention these days. Level Select CBD is a brand to watch from Cadenwood, the trusted leader in CBD. Their sports creams and roll-ons are great for pro athletes, amateurs, anybody trying to keep active. No matter what activity you engage in, you could use the relief Level Select CBD provides. Retired athletes like Steve Garvey and Carson Palmer use it every day. And now, PGA Tour champion Ricky Fowler has made Level Select CBD his brand of choice, too. They use it because it works, folks. Independently tested, 0% THC, made in the USA. Go to levelselectcbd.com, use the promo code CBD25 for 25% off any of their full line of CBD products. That's levelselectcbd.com, promo code CBD25, or dial pound 250 on your cell phone, say Level Select, and this offer will be sent right to your phone.
You will have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from Level Select.
Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
Replacing your wood paneling? That's a do-it-yourself. Replacing your electrical panel? That's a don't do-it-yourself. Play it safe and call your locally owned Mr. Sparky for any electrical replacement. From electrical panels to total home rewires, Mr. Sparky will leave your home safer than we found it.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Who is Adam Botana? He's running trashy negative ads, but it's all a distraction. Botana is desperate to hide the fact that he has zero accomplishments. He's just a liberal living at his parents' place following the Pelosi playbook. With a history of failing to pay taxes, liberal Botana is for sale, taking money from his big sugar buddies, even taking $10,000 into his dark money committee from a Democrat. Arrested for DUI, cited by police 7 times over 7 years, liberal Botana is reckless. Adam Botana, desperate, for sale, reckless, liberal. But Jason Mon is a proven Trump conservative with a solid record fighting for conservative causes, like enforcing immigration laws and protecting the Second Amendment. And Jason Mon is leading the fight to rebuild our economy and keep our water clean. Jason Mon, candidate, House District 76, a Trump conservative, a proven leader. Sponsored by Friends of Jason Mon PC.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, streaming live on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, type Drew Steele Radio in there. Steele with 3 E's. We appreciate you watching and subscribe to the channel. It does help us continue to do this. All right, I'm looking at some of the suggestions. The Washington Redskins looking to change their name, along with so many others. Let's see. Phil from Lehigh said San Diego Chargers offend all cash shoppers. Okay. Let's see. Oh, boy, there's a lot of them that have popped up. Somebody said the Washington Snowflakes. I kind of like that. The Washington... No, they can't do that. Let's see.
Why not?
The Washington Sellouts.
That's good.
The Washington Traders.
Sounds about right.
The Washington Machine. Oh, Rose and Fortunato. The Washington Machine. You get it?
I don't know. AI might not like that in the near future. You never know.
No, okay. You would go the AI angle, wouldn't you? All right. Coming up in a couple of minutes, I did say I would talk about this. The Supreme Court. What does this mean? States in the Electoral College, a unanimous Supreme Court rules against faithless electors. Here's what you need to know. In Washington State, if you remember in 2016, there were a couple of people that disagreed with the state as far as who won the state of Washington. by obviously the election and the vote and the electors there in the Electoral College, where if the state says, listen, if the public votes and they decide that this is the candidate, that the electors by state, they say that they will have to follow along with the will of the people. And if that's who they vote for, then electors, and that's how you're going to vote as well in the Electoral College. And there were 3 of them that didn't want to, that were trying to vote for Colin Powell to try to mess with the president at the time, Mr. Trump. They wanted to rally electors to go against the president and instead kind of help Hillary Clinton to win. It failed, and the state of Washington said, hey, we're going to fine you $1,000 as a faithless elector. And they said it was unconstitutional because the framers wanted electors to exercise independent judgment, and the justices disagreed. So you can't decide to be a faithless elector. You can't do what you want. If the state says this is how it goes, that's how it goes. So that's what they voted. We get into more detail and explain more coming up.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
Today's radicalized Democrat Party is attempting to dismantle, disarm, and discredit our frontline heroes. We must fight to stop them before it's too late. But to do that, we cannot send more weak leaders to Washington. It takes a bold, unapologetic conservative to stand up to the liberal mob and protect the institutions that make America great. We can't give in, and we can't give up. I'm Dr. William Figglestaller, and I approve this message because I'm the America First conservative you can trust.
Paid for by William Figglestaller, Republican, House District 19.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's Pest Prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
I'm Casey Askar. My family fled Christian persecution in Iraq. We found freedom in America where we can worship without fear. I joined the Marines to defend the country that gave us so much. But now, America is under attack. Our founders, our heroes, our faith. It's time to fight back. I'm Casey Askar, and I approve this message. I fought for my faith, my family, and my country, and I will fight for you.
Paid for by Casey Askar for Congress.
Eating dinner in your underwear?
Hey, put some clothes on.
Taking cold showers every hour? Or pitching a tent in front of your refrigerator to stay cool. These are things you can do to beat the heat in your home or stay cool this summer the right way with a $69 AC tune-up with no breakdown guarantee. Visit FloridaCoolToday.com for details. Carrier, turn to the experts.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Therese O'Shea with Wink News. Health experts are now saying the younger generation is making it harder to complete contact tracing. Len Morris from UF says contact tracing has been proven to be one of the most effective ways to control outbreaks, and closing bars and keeping crowds to a minimum are helpful. Today, the family of a woman who disappeared late last month is holding a search party for her. Lauren DeMolo was last seen at Four Freedoms Park in Cape Coral in June. The search is from 5 until 8 at that park. They'll head toward her home from Four Freedoms Park and hand out flyers. Florida's Education Commissioner orders public schools must reopen in the fall. In an emergency order, he says all school boards and charter school boards must open school buildings in August at least 5 days a week for all students. Lee County planned to have students in grades 7 and higher go to school in person 2 days a week and online the other 3. Lee County School Board member Mary Fisher says today the staff will go through the state order and identify options to make sure they line up. A new report from FDLE details what happened in the days leading up to 17-year-old Carson Davis's death from complications with COVID. COVID-19 last month. The FDLE's report shows Davis attended a large church function with more than 100 people back on June 10th. Her parents gave her hydroxychloroquine at home before going to the hospital several days after she first showed symptoms. A new coronavirus testing site opens today in Charlotte County. Appointments aren't required, but doctors say you should register beforehand to speed up the process. The CDC says even if you have little to no symptoms, you should get tested. Testing can take 7 to 10 days for results. I'm Teresa O'Shea, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is very congested in Lehigh Acres on 82, west of Sunshine to Gunnery, of course. Lee Boulevard as well as 23rd still up to speed. Also southbound delays on Lee Boulevard heading towards Leland Heights if you want to hop on Homestead. Cape Coral commuters still seeing a slowdown on Surfside heading south to Beach Parkway. That trip to the Minute Traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz, Wink News Now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, hot and humid with a high of 93. The heat index will be between 103 and 108. We'll start with a few showers during the morning, then they push inland and become scattered by the afternoon and evening. Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Get a 2017 Nissan Versa with only 20,000 miles for just $9,000. Or a 2003 Saturn Ion with 36,000 miles for only $5,000. With over 300 vehicles, visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
I'm Ray Sandelli, Lee County Commissioner for District 3. I'm a businessman, a veteran, and a proud family man. I have seen firsthand the impact the County Commission can have on our day-to-day lives and understand how critical it is to have someone with the right values in this office. The impact of the coronavirus is unprecedented. Now more than ever, we need to trust in our conservative principles to guide us back to prosperity. I'm Ray Sandelli, and I have the business experience and values we need to lead our county through difficult times. That's why Governor DeSantis put his trust in me. As a naval officer, aviator, and member of the Blue Angels flight demonstration team, I learned to trust my instincts. Now, my instincts tell me we need to reduce government, minimize regulations, and keep taxes low so we can bring jobs back to Lee County. I'm Ray Sandelli, and I'm asking for your vote. Paid by Ray Sandelli, Republican, for Lee County Commission, District 3.
Are you ready to embark on your healthcare journey? At Millennium Physician Group, we want you, our patient, to be in good health always. That's why we created our Destination Health New Patient Program. It's all about partnering with your primary care provider to achieve the best healthcare outcome for you. Now, are you ready for the journey of your life? Connect with Millennium Physician Group and be on your way to Destination Health. Call 844-CALL-MPG. 844-CALL-MPG, millenniumphysician.com.
Listening to Fox News.
It's the perfect time for a powerful business refresh during Dell Technologies Cyber Savings Event. It starts now with up to 50% off high-performance Windows 10 business laptops, desktops, and servers, plus top-brand electronics. It's also your chance to streamline IT and simplify PC life cycles with PC as a service. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 10 Pro for business. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusinessdeals.
Time's running out to win $7,000 a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $7,000 a week after week, for life. Don't miss your chance to win because $7,000 a week for life is ready to be awarded on August 31st. Go to PCH.com and enter before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/26. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on the YouTubes. On the YouTubes. Hey, are you on the tubes? That was weird. Sorry. Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. You can subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that. That helps us keep this thing going. If you like to watch, Jake the Millennial, he's on his phone. He's a little busy right now. He's taking calls from very important people right now. So there you go. And so there are people that are calling and continuing to come up with names for the Washington Redskins, as that's going to be a big change. So we'll get to some of your thoughts on that coming up. Also, I think today the one thing that I was trying to focus on this weekend, the president and his speech from Mount Rushmore, how many people just absolutely loved the speech and thought it was one of the most important in his presidency, and the distinction as to what is going on here in this country. Those that believe in our founding, those believe in our liberties and our freedom and what we have been able to enjoy in this country. And this country offers the ability to have our pursuit of happiness, whatever that dream might be, whatever that goal might be, that so many people get to recognize and achieve things that they never thought possible, and then ultimately trash the country. That's exactly what's happening, right? How many times it wasn't too long ago in 2011, as I'm looking at this in front of me here, in 2011, when the same Colin Kaepernick that everybody knows, Candace Owens, put this tweet out. Hope everybody had a happy 4th. Colin Kaepernick sure did back in 2011 before he realized, as she put it, that if he grew an afro and played the part of victim, he could scam the black community out of millions. Those were the days. Candace Owens in her tweet, because she retweeted his tweet from July 4th, 2011, when it said, "Happy 4th of July, everyone. I hope everyone has a blessed day." To this 4th of July, when he said, "Black people have been dehumanized, brutalized, criminalized, and terrorized by America for centuries and are expected to join your commemoration of quote-unquote independence. While you enslaved our ancestors, we reject your celebration of white supremacy and look forward to liberation for all." Hey, for those that back Colin Kaepernick, like Disney and ESPN, who decided now that they're going to do a kind of a documentary on his life, that they have signed and given him a 2-year agreement or some kind of contract that they signed off on, that they are going to do this. I just asked the question, how do you feel about when Colin Kaepernick in 2011 was talking about happy for the 4th of July and having a blessed day, and now changes it to white supremacy, and how these individuals feel now? And as a company, as a corporation, does that as well support his view of the country as being your support or view of the country?
Paid for by Jim Levins, Republican for Lee County Sheriff.
You're just trying to figure all of that, figure that out. And I don't know how that even works. And so what does that even look like? And so now, as we go into today, as we start to talk about some of what is out there and what is being discussed when it comes to race and relations in this country, when it comes to Black Lives Matter and who they are not, and there are particular individuals that are trying to make it seem like, for example, Black Lives Matter is not who they say they are. It's who you believe they are. It's what you believe they stand for. People in this country right now want the truth. They want the facts. They want everything in front of them so that they can make the conscious decision as to what they want to do in their life. And what I mean by that is, how many things are in the news right now that do not give you the ability to make your choice, your decision yourself? I want to know all the facts about coronavirus. I want to know everything. I want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to know so that I can make a decision for myself whether or not masks work or they don't work, because I've got a little both. I want to know whether or not social distancing works or doesn't work, because I got a little bit of both. I want to know whether or not this uptick in cases here in the state of Florida is something I need to be concerned about, because the death rate of this virus is high. Or is it? Which one is it? You don't get the facts. I want to be able to make my decision based on data, based on the science, and based on the facts, and we don't get that. And in a lot of cases, we don't get the facts, we get the spin I'll give you one example of not getting the fact. I don't know what his specific role, like his big roles are. Do you know, Jake the Millennial, do you have any idea who Terry Crews is? The actor Terry Crews, do you know any parts, anything about him specifically? I guess he was in some show called Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Is that one of them? I don't know. Are you familiar with that at all? Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I've heard of it, never watched it.
Okay. Any other shows that you're familiar with that Terry Crews has been in? I guess you can look it up.
That Chris show, it's old.
Yeah, that's right. Something about Chris or
Everybody Hates Chris.
Everybody Hates Chris. Okay, so that was one. Okay. And let's see. So he was the one that recently talked about you can be concerned. Oh, Terry Crews is facing backlash for saying that Black Lives Matter shouldn't turn into Black Lives Are Better. And he went on with Don the Lemon over the weekend to try to make his case. And this is where you see a perfect example of how we don't get the information and the facts from places like the mainstream media. We need all of the information to make our decisions. We need all the information to know what it is somebody is trying to do and what they're not trying to do. Is Black Lives Matter all about police brutality and that's all it is? Or is Black Lives Matter an organization that are Marxists that are trying to tear down the country, and that has been the goal of getting rid of capitalism, of not just defunding, but disbanding police departments, getting rid of the police altogether, who wants to destroy the nuclear family. Destroy the nuclear family. Like, how could you honestly think that that is going to improve society by destroying the nuclear family? But that's their agenda. Those are the facts. Unless you're Terry Crews and you go on Don Lemon's program on CNN and you're trying to explain your point, and Don Lemon says,
I became sick. Like, if I told you to wear a mask,
but Terry,
they want to kick you out.
You're a high-profile person. You're writing things out there. You know you're going to get backlash. You know people are going to respond to what you're saying on Twitter. So I don't think you should be surprised by that. I have a skin as tough as an armadillo because of what I do, and I think maybe you should adapt that. But here's what I have to say. The Black Lives Matter movement was started because it was talking about police brutality. If you want an all Black Lives Matter movement that talks about gun violence in communities, including, black communities, then start that movement with that name. But that's not what Black Lives Matter is about. It's not an all-encompassing. So if you're talking about, if someone started a movement that said...
All right, let me just stop. So there's Don Lemon trying to explain to everybody who's listening that Black Lives Matter is not some of the things that Terry Crews was trying to explain. He was trying to make the point about who Black Lives Matter really is, the organization. You've got Don Lemon, who is telling you something else, that what they have on their website, what they say with their own mouths, in their own words, is not what you're hearing and not what you're reading. It's something completely different. It's what I tell you it is, and convincing an audience of something completely different.
Cancer matters. And then someone comes in and says, why aren't you talking about HIV? It's not the same thing. We're talking about cancer. So the Black Lives Matter movement is about police brutality and injustice in that manner, not about what's happening in black neighborhoods. There are people who are working on that issue, and if you want to start that issue, why don't you start it?
So now gives Terry Crews a chance to answer now. He wants to give the information of who Black Lives Matter really is.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
But when you look at the organization, police brutality is not the only thing they're talking about.
I know that, but I agree, but that's not what the Black Lives Matter movement is about, Terry.
And he doesn't give him a chance to finish. And he absolutely covers it up, and he covers him up, and he doesn't allow him to speak. Doesn't allow him to finish his statement, doesn't allow him to finish saying what we're not getting, the information that we're not hearing, which we are. You are getting it because you listen to this show and you listen to this station and you're tuned into places where you're getting the facts and the truth. You're not getting the side that is backing the organization and their beliefs and the mainstream media. But yet this is what the audience is fed night after night, day after day, week after week from places like CNN. This is what they get. They do not get the opportunity to decide for themselves whether or not Black Lives Matter is something that is a term that either you believe or you support or you care about, as opposed to Black Lives Matter, an organization whose goal right now is to instill Marxism in this country and to tear down our institutions, to get rid of police departments and destroy the nuclear family. You don't get to hear that part. And there's a lot of other places where this has been happening, this misinformation, the not getting the whole story. And even locally, I want to talk about in a couple of minutes about a story locally where it's really unfortunate because it has gone national, where there was a young girl here in Southwest Florida who passed away from the coronavirus, but we're not getting all the information, or at least the headlines are not giving you all the information. You have to dig into the story to get more of it. But what we come to find out is something that was touted by the president, and getting together at a church function apparently was part of this story, and maybe even more the headline than some of the other things that happened with this story and this child in particular. And we're not getting and hearing all of that information, but there are organizations that are picking and choosing what they want to hear as shocking headlines for the rest of the country. I'll explain coming up. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Stay where you are. Traffic, here's Sabrina Katz.
Traffic slowing in Estero southbound on Ben Hill heading towards Corkscrew Road. Also a little slowdown beginning on 41 heading north towards Corkscrew. I-75 is still up to speed heading to and from Lee and Collier. There is a delay though in Fort Myers southbound on Gateway Boulevard heading towards the Daniels extension. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For today, hot and humid with a high of 93. The heat index will be between 103 and 108. We'll start with a few showers during the morning, then they push inland and become scattered by the afternoon and evening. Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Of the hour.
Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News. News and smart views.
True relief for back and neck pain.
At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, if you're suffering with a spinal-related problem, pain, numbness, or weakness, through the use of spinal decompression therapy, we've helped hundreds and hundreds of local residents return to a pain-free, productive life. People who once suffered from stenosis, sciatica, bulging, or herniated discs and thought there was no solution are now living pain-free. Spinal decompression is relaxing and painless, while it gently eases pressure off painful nerves and spinal discs. No pain, no needles, and no surgery. I've successfully been using spinal decompression in Southwest Florida for over 13 years, and the results are only getting better. Take your life back. Call our Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation to find out how spinal decompression can help you. Johnston Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-2225. That's 596-2225.
Pool need a checkup? Call the doctor. The Pool Doctor.
Hi, Dr. Mark here. Heat pumps take heat out of the air and put it in your pool. They cost less to run than gas heaters, and you won't have panels on your roof. Special pricing, rebates, and free on-site evaluations. We're a family company, and for over 40 years, we've been doing business right.
The prescription is the Pool Doctor for award-winning pool service, repairs, and unheard of $39 diagnostic calls. That's mypooldoctor.com or 239-574-1133. State certified CPC 057088.
As our state representative, Ray Rodriguez has always been the conservative we could count on. Now, Ray wants to take his conservative record to the Florida Senate. Ray Rodriguez fought to end illegal immigration in Florida. He helped ban sanctuary cities and fought alongside Governor DeSantis to protect our jobs by passing E-Verify. Ray will continue to fight to ensure those in our country illegally will not find sanctuary in our state. when it came to protecting the right to life, no one was more pro-life than Ray Rodriguez. In Florida's Senate, Ray will continue the fight to protect the unborn. And when Donald Trump needed him the most, Ray was there. As one of Florida's members of the Electoral College, Ray stood strong against Hillary Clinton and the Democrats when they tried to steal the election by flipping electors. In the Florida Senate, Ray will always support President Trump and his plan to keep America great. Ray Rodriguez has always been a conservative we could count on. Now, we need him in the Florida Senate. Paid by Ray Rodriguez, Republican, for the Florida Senate.
If you're far from water, you might think a flood can't happen to you. But the truth is, there are hidden risks that can leave your property vulnerable, like runoff from new development, changing weather patterns, and even wildfires. But if you have flood insurance, you have peace of mind, knowing that you can recover faster. Protect the life you've built. Visit floodsmart.gov/storm to learn more. Brought to you by FEMA and its National Flood Insurance Program.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Streaming live on YouTube. You just go to Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and please subscribe to the channel. All right, so this is what I was talking about. This is my concern. Everybody wants the facts. They all want the information. They want the facts on coronavirus, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of it. Do masks work? Do they not work? The spike in cases doesn't mean there are more people dying or less people dying. We want all the information. We want everything so that we can make a decision on our own, for example, as to what is happening. We do know that comorbidities mean something. Like if you have some kind of a situation in your life, a comorbidity, whether it's asthma or some kind of disease or something, and you get the virus, then unfortunately, you are going to have more problems, and your possibility of death rises with those comorbidities. We all know this. But I'm concerned about how things are being reported, and I'll give you a perfect example. And follow along with me till the end here, because it's important. You see in the news press, you see the story, and you even heard on Wink News just a few minutes ago about a Florida teen, COVID-19 victim, received unproven treatment at home before dying at a hospital, report says. What? The family of a 17-year-old Lee County girl who died last month from COVID treatment, her symptoms at home... The family of a 17-year-old Lee County girl who died last month from COVID-19 treated her symptoms at home for nearly a week before taking her to a hospital. This is according to the medical examiner. The home care included giving the girl unproven drugs, putting her on an oxygen tank used by her grandfather. Lee County's youngest victim, 17 years old of the coronavirus, 2 weeks before her death, she had attended a 100-person church function, and according to the Miami-Dade medical examiner's office, she didn't wear a mask. Social distancing was not followed. Okay, do we know for sure that that's where a church function, that's where she got it? Do we know for a fact? Do we know that that's where it took place? She was there. Was she anyplace else? Could it have been mentioned in the article that she was anyplace else doing anything else at all without a mask? The news press couldn't independently verify which church was involved, and the call to the possible host of the event was not returned. So according to the news press, then apparently that's it. The reason why she got the virus was because she was at a church function. It's the only place she could have gotten it. It's the only place. There was no other place. Girl had struggled, here you go, listen, this is important. The girl had struggled with a number of health issues over the years, including a rare nervous system disorder that resolved when she was 5, obesity, and an autoimmune disorder. Then they went on to talk about how they gave her erythromycin, and they also gave her hydroxychloroquine on June 19th, after she had been sick for a few days. They gave her an unspecified dose of hydroxychloroquine, an arthritis and lupus drug some, including President Trump, have touted as possible treatment for COVID-19. It goes on to talk negatively about hydroxychloroquine, negatively about the president, negatively about the way they treated their daughter. But let me just say this. 2 things. Number 1, if you were paying attention, the news press wrote this article, I guess, today or yesterday? If they were paying attention, they would know that there was a big, huge, large-scale peer-reviewed analysis of patients hospitalized, and that treatment with hydroxychloroquine cut the death rate significantly. There was a big peer-reviewed study that said hydroxychloroquine does work. But we're going to put that aside. And here's the second part that's troubling to me. Listen, it's horrible that this girl died. It's horrible that anybody would die of COVID-19. It's horrible. We are not dismissing that, but this is what I'm saying. Newsweek comes out with an article just a few hours ago. And you know what the headline says about this story? Florida teen dies after mother took her to church coronavirus party, then treated her with hydroxychloroquine. What? No. What are you... But that's Newsweek. Florida teen dies after her mother took her to a church coronavirus party, then treated her with hydroxychloroquine. That's the headline. Is there anything else that we'd like to know about the headline? Because in this day and age, that's enough for people. In this age of social media and instant information, that's all they need to see. Nobody's going to read into the article. Nobody's going to read anything more into it. They're only going to take that and that's it. Is that a problem for anybody?
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Take control of your home's water. What does that even mean? Well, look, if you're thinking about taking control of the chlorine that's in your water, you're just tired of it. You know it's ruining your appliances. And you know that your family does not enjoy drinking water out of the faucet. They don't enjoy showering in it. Give Pelican Water Systems a call. Talk to my buddy Max. Schedule your free Pelican water test right now. Man, you're not going to believe what you find in your water. And they don't need to come in your home to test it. They have a zero contact option. And for city or well water, you're going to love the way your water tastes from every faucet. And Pelican, as you probably know, has both the industry-leading salt-free smart combo, so there's no lugging in bags of salt, and they have the Advantage salt system as well, so they have both salt and salt-free. And this month you can save 15% on the Pelican salt-free smart combo. It's the same one I have with UV protection. Now, UV protection, it helps reduce harmful bacteria, and it even works in a boil water alert. Had those before? Well, Pelican Water Specialists are standing by, taking your call right now. 239-880-7799. That's 239-880-7799. Or schedule online at PelicanWestFL.com.
I'm here with Mike Roberts with Mortgage Warehouse. Mike, give me an update on mortgage rates. How are things looking?
There is a lot of talk about mortgage rates these days, and for good reason. Mortgage rates are nearing the lowest levels we've seen in years. Anyone that purchased their home in 2017 or 2018 should check into refinancing their mortgage to get a lower interest rate. Give us a call at 313-5000 or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com. You'll work directly with one of our loan officers right here in Southwest Florida. Our no closing cost program allows you to refinance with no fees out of pocket, no fees rolled into your loan, and you won't pay any Florida mortgage taxes either. If you took out a mortgage in 2017 or 2018, or you have an interest rate above 4%, or you are paying mortgage insurance, also known as PMI, call us at 313-5000, that's 313-5000, or apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154, Equal Housing Lender.
Gotta go to Galliana.
Great news, Southwest Florida. Summer clearance event going on now at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Lowest prices ever on over 1,500 new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Loaded luxurious Grand Cherokee Limited lease, $289 per month. That's right, Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, $289 per month. 7-passenger Dodge Journey SUV, just $19,990. Plus at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, you can drive payment-free for 3 months or interest-free for 6 years and worry-free up to 100,000 miles. And our parts service and body shop are open to serve you. Summer clearance event at Galliana Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
Gotta go to Galliana.
42 month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $19.99 to signing plus tax, tag title, dealer and acquisition fee, 0 security deposit, $13.88 per month per thousand borrowed for 72 months at 0 APR with 0 down with lender approval. Offers don't combine.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. As coronavirus cases continue to rise in many states, there's talk in Congress about sending more money to some Americans having financial problems due to the outbreak.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he'll write the next bill focusing on health care and provisions to safely reopen schools. But a senior GOP leadership aide tells Fox it's not a foregone conclusion there will even be another bill. There's sharp disagreement among Republicans.
Fox's Chad Pergram. TikTok and other social media apps could be banned for download in the U.S. over privacy concerns. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo asked if Americans should go get TikTok on their phones now.
Only if you want your private information in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party.
He was on the Ingram Angle on Fox. The first court appearance for Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, set for a week from today. She's been transferred to a federal jail in Brooklyn, New York, arrested last week in New Hampshire. America's listening to Fox News.
This Wink News update is presented by Stadium Dry Cleaners. Online at stadiumdrycleaners.com.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Therese O'Shea with Wink News. Health experts are now saying the younger generation is making it harder to complete contact tracing. Glenn Morris from UF says contact tracing has been proven to be one of the most effective ways to control outbreaks, and closing bars and keeping crowds to a minimum are helpful. Today, the family of a woman who disappeared late last month is holding a search party for her. Lauren DeMolo was last seen at Four Freedoms Park in Cape Coral in June. The search is from 5 until 8 at that park. They'll head toward her home from Four Freedoms Park and hand out flyers. Florida's Education Commissioner orders public schools must reopen in the fall. In an emergency order, he says all school boards and charter school boards must open school buildings in August at least 5 days a week for all students. Lee County planned to have students in grades 7 and higher go to school in person 2 days a week and online the other 3. Lee County School Board member Mary Fisher says today the staff will go through the state order and identify options to make sure they line up. A new report from FDLE details what happened in the days leading up to 17-year-old Carson Davis's death from complications with COVID-19 last month. The FDLE's report shows Davis attended a large church function with more than 100 people back on June 10th. Her parents gave her hydroxychloroquine at home before going to the hospital.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic slowing in Estero southbound on Benhill heading towards
today in
Corkscrew
Charlotte
Road.
County.
Also a little
Appointments
slowdown
are
beginning on
required, but
41
doctors say
heading
you
north
should
towards
register
Corkscrew.
beforehand to speed up the
I-75
process.
is still
The
up to
CDC
speed
says
heading to and
even
from